Hey everyone, welcome to part one of this mostly fresh start Malkadarr Reaper. So, absolutely critical thing we have to do is not pick Necromancer until we side with Kaimon, because we're going to be farming obviously Malkadarr.
You're not looking for the bot.
Oh, take the crudely scrawled note. A little bit of free XP. We were going to do I think we'll still do Rutnik next, but I want to play melee. I've never done Malkadarr as a fresh start, so seemed reasonable. Anyway, so here we go. I know there's an Ullman's axe somewhere, but that's Hevel's greatsword. That's not particularly useful to us. Hey, Farnsworth, thanks for the tier 1, much appreciated. Welcome in. Don't ask me why that's not showing up in my chat replay, but Streamlabs gave me the noise that told me I had an alert, so I thought to check. Hope you're doing well. Oh, there now it shows up. My chat is just delayed, I guess. Or at least the tablet where I'm watching it, the chat's a little delayed, but I think that's fairly standard. Yeah, I've had a fairly productive day. I started slow, but I finally got my writing done. Dual wield Bloodlord's Witch Hunter. Oh, right, right. The Chaos Dagger one. I was thinking of the fire one, but yeah, the Chaos Dagger makes sense for Witch Hunter. Um, so I go by word count, but obviously that has a page equivalent, and I have a rough idea of what that is. But my view is that I can feel very good about a week where I get 15,000 words written, and that equates to like roughly 50 pages. And that may not happen every week, but it's last 8 weeks in a row it happens, and this one is on pace to become 9. So, I mean, what that usually means is in a Monday through Friday, I kind of try to treat it like a work week. I try to get 3,000 words or about 10 pages done a day. And then the weekend, I'll just typically, unless I am trying to make up for some lost time or something, I'll just write a little bit, even if it's like 200 or 300 words, just to get something out every day. I feel like doing a tiny bit makes it easier to sustain a habit than just taking a complete day off. Plus I do enjoy writing. It's just sometimes getting 3,000 words on paper feels like a massive chore, and getting 200 words on paper really doesn't. Hey, Miso, welcome in. And yeah, my rough draft for most of the things I'm working on is goal is about 100,000 pages for the book, and then a lot of times that'll grow a little bit. Nonfiction, you're adding additional footnotes and citations and references and kind of polishing it. Fiction, you probably delete a little bit of stuff, but you also realize that you might need to explain more about what's going on, because it's one thing. It's one thing if you know how your story goes, but your audience needs to be able to figure it out too. And I probably need to spend a little bit more time doing things like describing the setting. I'm trying to find the balance between info dumping and not giving enough description. I feel like it's easier to not give enough description and just kind of move the plot along, and then you can kind of look back and see where you want to maybe info dump a little bit. That's just kind of how I view it, but I imagine everyone has their own process how they do that. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Oh, okay. Why have I not picked up any additional weapon? You know what? We are going to all right, where did this guy go? Yeah, writing a book feels pretty darn good. I wrote one. I published one last year. It's nonfiction. It's about politics, which is a subject I used to like a lot more. And like as I've grown older and as things have changed a little bit, has been less appealing to me. That said, I wrote a second book about politics and economics and changes that have been going on in this country in the 21st century, so I guess I'm not completely over it. But I wrote the rough draft of a novel, finished that in January, and I'm working on book 2 of the series now. And once I am pretty confident I'm not going to screw up any continuity or miss putting in foreshadowing that I should put into book one, I'll get back to revising and getting book one to a publishable state. Welcome in, Master Halls. Miso, you're finally getting your streaks back. Very nice. Um, I'm just going to call Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's it's something you read while it's something I'm going to read while I'm riding the stationary bike because I don't. It's entertaining enough to pass the time, and I don't really care about the details. So it's actually sort of perfect for that. I finished book two, like I said, riding the bike, and I got book three, the ebook on library loans, so I can just keep going through. Some It's good for light reading purposes when you just need something when you don't really care about delving into a world that much and you just need something to do. Like it works fine for that. I'm not going to not going to go beyond that. And I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's not. I don't think it's my preferred style. I think that's really the biggest thing, but it serves its purpose if I just need something to look at while I'm riding my bike or something. I'm about halfway through book three of Malazan, which is considerably more interesting and engaging to me. And I've also have 2 weeks to read. I've got the ebook of the second one of Joe Abercrombie's first sort of independent first law novels. I read Best Served Cold. I enjoyed that, and this one is called The Heroes. So that's kind of exciting. I'll probably I might actually just read that while I'm on the bike as well. Just read it a little more slower and carefully because I actually want to get into it and enjoy it more. All right. Let's put pneumatic burst here. Good day, welcome in, Violet. I mean, Fourth Wing is part of the whole romantasy genre, right? And there's a big crowd of people who like romantasy, and the people who don't are probably mostly not leaving reviews. I mean, there's some jerks who'll leave a negative review on something they haven't read because they don't like the genre or something. But I'm sorry, if you haven't read a book, you shouldn't review it. And some things you just, if it's not, some things are bad and some things are just not for you. I definitely heard criticisms of some of the romantasy genre broadly, but and some of the authors being particularly bad by some sort of literary standard, but I'm not going to read most of them. As a movie, welcome in. Yeah, and romance for the sake of romance is already a genre. Like there's nothing theoretically wrong with sticking that in a fantasy setting. I mean, look, if I have to be picky, I'm going to say maybe I don't love seeing the degree to which romantasy seems to have taken over shelf space for fantasy. But I mean, that's really the biggest grievance. Like, if someone enjoys something that's not for me, and someone gets successful writing something that's not for me, that doesn't negatively affect me really at all. But if it's I do think to some extent it risks crowding out the fantasy novels that I'm actually interested in reading. Fortunately, I have enough of a backlog; it's not going to be a problem. And I think there's still going to be good fantasy coming out. But yeah, if I have to find something to complain about, it's probably that. Just shelf space and saying, romance, you already have your genre, you already have your shelf space. You read those because of your mom. Yeah, a lot of things the books are first, but yeah, I probably won't read those. There are just too many sort of aspiring fantasy authors whose work I'd like to support, even if it's just pages read on Kindle Unlimited. They're still getting paid for my consumption that way. And So yeah, given the choice, there are a lot of people who haven't had their break yet. May not honestly. It's competitive. May not get it, and if I can at least give a little bit of support for some of the people who are writing, if their work's any good, and they're writing in the genre that I actually want to read books in, then I'm going to go there. And there's just too many books, too little time. Yeah, good vampire stuff is fun. I mean, I played vampire counts in Warhammer. I'm not necessarily saying the von Karsteins are the best vampires ever, because God knows they're probably not, but I did find it funny how long Vlad von Karstein got away with ruling, and the peasants just it took them a really long time for anyone to get suspicious, and it took someone basically saying, my grandfather remembers you ruling when he was a kid, so isn't it a little bit weird that you're still alive? We go Shadow Strike, go Auto Attack. Definitely take the second part of Pneumatic Burst. Oh no, we don't want Nidala's Hidden Hand. Ugh, whoops. Yeah, that's literally the opposite of what we want. We don't want the poison conversion. Alright, well. Be nice if we just get some random one-handed weapon so we can dual wield, but okay, this is pitiful. Oh, we got a level just for that. Nice. Okay, I think that might be a one-handed weapon. We kill this mob and finish the totem. We'll start dual wielding. This is the exciting gameplay you guys came here for, right? Just out of curiosity, yep. Look at this. We got this massive we got mega DPS now. Yeah, but look at this damage now. We're really cooking. 170 DPS. Oops. It's I mean, Sunder really doesn't matter, but let's not get hit by the Sunder, then get poison shotgunned or something. That just seems like a bad plan. There we go, of attack. Hey, Sarkis. This is the new UI. It's currently in public playtest, but the patch hasn't gone live yet. So, this is what the UI is going to look like going forward. There's also a mode that has globes instead of bars for health and mana, but as someone who's played Grim Dawn the way it used to be, then I'm kind of just... I'm going to be health bars for life as long as I play this game. I don't mind the globes in other games, but not this one. And Miso, yeah, that makes sense. On you know, you have a formula that works. People just keep doing it and generate sales. People say, "All right, well, I like this first one, so why don't I read some more?" And if they find something they like, they probably binge a lot of them. Sorry, because you've been mindlessly farming MIs. Yeah, I kind of like mindlessly farming MIs. It's when you don't desperately need something, it's very farming can be very therapeutic. It's very relaxing. Yeah, I'm we're not dying to reflect anytime soon, I don't think. I think the mistake I made was never learning the mechanics of how reflect actually works, and you know, I had always been told and read that you worry about reflect on internal trauma builds specifically, and my thought was that the trauma is going to reflect back at you. Normally, other stuff doesn't matter. The only time a direct hit reflecting matters is if the direct hit does enough damage to kill you, which, if that's not happening, then who cares? But unfortunately, I did not expect to kill myself with Cadence, and now I know that's with a two-handed Voldrac, but now I know that's possible. Yeah, I think I saw the build you sent me. It's the Fizz. It's a Fizz build with Baranath and Baranath Reforged and some other stuff. Which I think my comment was, this is very firmly in the because I can realm of things. Baldur's Gate 2 someday, Farnsworth. No, it was kind of funny. Hang on. I know I made and pasted the clip. Let me find it. There you go. This happened after my stream cut out for some reason because my computer decided to glitch out for a few minutes, and then we got back to playing. And then we died, and then, yeah, we switched to Dishonored. Cryo, welcome in. It's going pretty well. Hope you're also doing well. Yeah, it was a pretty good clip. And I've never died to Reflect before and yeah, leave it to be some random cadence hit in a crowded totem that I just was not paying close enough attention. Also, was just not expecting. I was thinking I don't do enough internal trauma for this to matter, but that was incorrect. So the updated approach is we care about reflect on dot builds, and we care about reflect on builds where we can insta kill ourselves in one shot. It is a very good rip. I mean, I'm not. I wasn't even mad when it happened, although I don't really get mad at this game. Like sometimes stuff happens. It's just part of playing hardcore. Yep. Smack the reflect mob with cadence and just probably did. It was probably one of those things where I probably hit for 200,000 damage. 30% or whatever gets reflected back. That's 60k, and I've had some reflect resist, but obviously not that much. Yeah, I switched to hardcore when I had a ton of experience with the game, and I just felt like I needed more challenge. But I spent a lot of time playing the game on softcore before I did that. Like actually I'm kind of curious now. Uh, that was uh, that was my ninth rip, and it was the first one that wasn't a fully geared out finished character. So the first non level 100. All right. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted chatting, which is fine, of course, but I'm trying to remember exactly right. We're fighting Milton, or finding and then fighting Milton. Yeah, I gathered that Misa. It's kind of wild. Ooh, let's not die. All right, I don't think we need white items. We're close to not needing magic items. We're not quite there yet. Well, I think if you do that, you probably deserve to get memed on, right? If you're wondering if we could be going faster, the answer is yes, but I'm enjoying just chilling and being a little bit lazy. +2 to Shadow Strike. Look at that damage. Yeah, it would definitely be a disturbing experience. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. As usual on normal, Slith necklaces do not drop. And on ultimate, when you don't need them anymore, they drop like candy. Well, there's one. Oh, it's definitely faster than Magifer. And the other difference is that at some point, once we get MIs, which I know are coming on the sooner end, it's going to feel a lot better. So there's actually hope in my run. Whereas Magifer sometimes is where hope goes to die. See, we know we're just going to get through Act 1. It'll be fine. And then we have the mob in the cave that has items they drop. And I have no idea if they actually buff drop rates for Slith necklaces. That's just one of those weird quest items where you think who really cares. Well, now we have 2, so maybe the flooded passage will be kind to us. Prickly, welcome in. Turkey sandwich sounds good. Though ideally it's properly roasted turkey and not the heavily salted cold cuts. Like Thanksgiving leftover sandwiches are fantastic. I want the lifesteal. That's why we're going Fox. I just think it's going to make the game so much easier once we get that. Warborn died to this guy in Ultimate, I'm assuming. It couldn't have been normal, right? Actually, does anyone have Warborn's recent rip to the Shambler clip? Okay, let's rescue Ulgrim. Not really. If you skip him, rescuing him does give a reasonable amount of XP on ultimate. I only really bother with it on normal and elite on an SSF run, just because I feel like every little bit of extra experience you get can be helpful. But it really doesn't matter.
What do you want?
Oh, he does really. I've somehow never noticed that, but good to know, Farnsworth. It's probably not that much though, right? It's like 100. It's a 100 rep or something insignificant.
What's with I? Have you found a good? There have been warden.
True. Yeah. If I mean, if you're playing SSF as well, you don't have the portal, so you're kind of going in that direction anyway. It's not out of the way. It's really only questionable on a if you're trying to speed level when you have access to the merits. Ooh, got the frozen heart. Need it for the totem in Act 2. Hi, welcome in, Susie. So Malkadarr Reaper is a Reaper, so Necro Nightblade, that uses at least one of the Malkadarr Dreadblade weapons, which is dropped by Malkadarr, who's a boss in the I think the Tomb of the Archon. If you side with Kaimon, which you can't do if you're a Necro, so we have to scam them by holding off on picking our second master until we get to Homestead and have a chance to side with them. Not sure Violet yet. It may depend on what rolls we get on them and what other gear we have. The Malkadarr sword, Susie, you don't have one? I mean, it does require siding with the Kaimon, which is always induces a certain amount of uneasiness. Good lord, all these mobs. Yeah, you side with Kaimon constantly. Fortunately, once you've sided with them on normal, even if you pick Necro as your second mastery, they'll still let you side with them on Elite and Ultimate. Yeah, Nightblade is definitely my most played mastery. 0% poison res. That explains something. I don't think I've actually ever done just a solo mastery to 100. I mean, it's doable, of course, but why? This is Warden Creek. Windborne Greaves. Oh, I want to say the lower level one I thought, or higher level one had Shadow Strike points or something. May not be a thing. Oh well.
Is it finished? The warden's defeat is a... So you must be the guy before...
I'll give you a good price for what I've got left. See you.
Hang on. Can we craft an anti-venom salve? I think we probably should do that if we can. 0% poison res feels bad. 3 scrap, scavenge plating, ichor, roiling blood. Alright, well we have some poison res now. It's better than none.
I cannot... So, you are in the Corvin base. The three have to go...
Alright, so we'll side with Solisle, because they have the augment we want. Grab some lore notes.
here.
You shut Belial does not. The forgotten. So, the servants.
Serve.
Oh, right. We can buy movement runes. Let's do that. That's half the reason we went into Forgotten Gods in the first place. We don't have a medal yet, but that'll change in due course. Worst case, we'll get one from Moneybags Martin. Alright, so this boss we are going to farm a little bit. Because two of the three really any of the three MIs he drops right now will be an upgrade over the junk we have, but two of the three are actually good. So one is a Shadow Strike MI, and one is an MI that boosts some of our weapon pool skills. Shadow Strike 1 is definitely better early game, but Or I think we can get rid of magic. Alright, he's got the battle axe. Okay, Enchanters of Frostbite, that is at least an acceptable roll. We are, however, going to reset and fight him again. I haven't yet. That's not a bad call, Violet.
I sense turmoil within you.
Wait, hold on.
Stay strong.
No, I think we'll keep the crossroads depending on what order we get rumor in. Alright, so that doesn't activate rovers. Alright, well, I'm not going to do the quest before I farm Radlith. We're just going to hopefully just kill him one or two more times and be done with it for now. Need to actually do the Elder Quest. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, ideally we get a second axe or a spectral longsword And we're just done in here for a bit. Can't see what he has. I see his shield. Yep. If only I had 3 slith necklaces. Or, or we just get 2 more of these. Let's. Does he have a? If he has a spectral longsword, we'll. He has a spectral longsword, so we'll actually consider fighting him. Shield of Alacrity, fine. Alright, 2 more levels we can actually equip MIs. That will be a fairly substantial power bump. It's nice that we get that at level 20, as opposed to having to wait to 32 or longer. Alright, we have one dynamite, so we can clear the area we need. This is a pretty terrible roll, but it is +3 dual blades, +3 shadow strike. Can't really not equip this. We'll probably just have to try to find a better one at some point, but alright, so I guess we go turtle next. All right, have a good night, Farnsworth. Get some sleep. Appreciate you dropping by. I will see you next time. Think Dishonored tomorrow, and then obviously Grim Dawn on the weekend. We'll take Friday off again. Unyielding of Alacrity Cronley Ring. That's an improvement, right? And this is really +2 to Shadow Strike. It's not giving us much. Guess we'll find some other ring that has resistances on it.
Well, the world is a little safe. Damn it, now that we're...
Alright, I mean, we'd rather have Chaos Res for Bloodgrove, but I mean, neither option is amazing. The Corpse Dust on the Cronley Ring, get a bit more Vit Res. And let's see if we can craft a Wardstone. Requires 3 Aether Crystals. We have 35, so we're good there. You know, we even probably should just go double Wardstone right now. That does a lot for Elemental Res. I usually put a Silk Swatch on the shoulders, but we seem to not need it.
Come, friend, right to business then.
Alright, obviously, I think for leveling, we'll take the +1 Nightblade Relic. So, let's see. Slaughter What's the lower level relic that feeds into that? Okay, Guile. Guile is what? One ancient heart, roiling blood, chip claw, scavenge plating. Alright, I mean, it requires level 25, so we can't equip it yet, but we might as well just have it in inventory. Alright, we're not bothering with the Royal Jelly quest. Alright, now we'll take Turtle. Alright, we'll get the shrine. Okay, so this gives me poison, chaos, and elemental res. Yep, these are just straight upgrade. Beat the long one. Ooh, that was close. Nice low risk Voldrak kill.
Well, if it isn't by... I haven't been entire... I came...
Alright, so we've got the dynamite, so we'll drop a portal here. We will grab Homestead Riftgate, and then we will go down to Pine Barrens. I am going to do the Homestead quest first, so that we can pick Necro on the sooner end.
So how good work. These are. I wasn't sure you. I wish I'm going to.
I'll skip the plus. The Legion is split on.
at level 25, so we can equip Guile, which should boost our damage a bit. Yeah, because it applies a buff. Alright, we're not going to fight Gallus, we're just going to get the shrine here.
see my scouts have reported.
There are two other.
Okay, let's not screw this up.
I have come to represent Kaiman.
We side with Kaiman's chosen. Feels so bad. So bad to do that. Alright, we don't need to check in with them yet. But yeah, you can see Kaimon friendly, and now we can choose Necro anytime we want. And we can drop the yellow crossroads.
I sense turmoil within you. Farewell.
One moment, guys. We're going to craft a runestone for the helm. And I don't really have a better helm at the moment. Alright, bit more poison res, fixes our elemental res, bit more aether res. Okay, we're maxed in Nightblade, so we can... Next level we'll get Execution and Blade Spirits. And pretty soon we'll start taking Necro. Alright, so we go back to Pine Barrens. We'll turn in these quests. We get the resist reduction proc from Rumor next devotion point. There's triple check. Okay, yeah. This requires 663, so we definitely can't get rid of any crossroads. Alright, so we're not I'm not wild about 17% Chaos Res and Blood Grove. It's normal, but it's still a little bit on the sketchy side. You see that affix, and then you look and say, "Nope, never mind." Wait, hold on. Yeah, we'll take Vigorous of Soul Warding, I guess. Bit more Aether. Yeah, let's see what we can sell. Maybe balance our resistances a little bit. Alright, I guess that can go on. Let's get Chaos Res up to 24%. Alright, let's actually have to turn in some quests while we're here. Yeah, I mean, it's still a good roll. But if you needed the other pants for the build you're working on now, it's a little disappointing. Oh, yeah, we don't accidentally turn that in since we don't have the royal jelly. grab some aether crystals. Okay. This has happened a few times. There's this bug where you get the next rift, but it doesn't acknowledge it for some reason. Because it doesn't show up as a question mark or a rift you haven't claimed. It just doesn't show up on the map. And then you go there once and it's fixed. Alright, let's see if we can get maybe a Martin Metal with a few resistances. Just something. This will also double as a dynamite farming run. Ooh, Shrewd of Amaras's Flurry. That is, Impervious of Spines. Okay, that's just better. Vigorous of Scorched Runes. It has some resistances. And, alright, I guess this really isn't that much better. It's actually probably worse. Let's grab a dynamite or two while we're here. Just run through. Check some of the usual spots. I mean, this gives me a tiny bit of elemental damage, so it is technically a DPS boost. It's a very minor one, but... Alright, we got a little bit of dynamite. Nothing special. And not that we need Pierce Res, but... Yeah, we actually don't need Pierce Rose, so maybe this is just not worth even putting on. This is an armor upgrade once we can equip it, though, so that's something at least. And we'll put Vigors of Scorched Runes. And we'll take the Runestone off. And let's actually take a look, see if we can craft some cold stones to have more damage. Actually, maybe we do one imbued silver for now. I hate doing this, but it's important not to die. And usually we try to do that here. About cold stone. 4 aether crystals. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, that's a nice boost of damage. So we have a bit more chaos res. It's not amazing, but it's better than it was. We're getting there. Alright, so unfortunately for Kaimon, we actually do have to kill Bolvar. So I just did that shrine. I actually don't remember if we had a Seal of Binding or not, so I'm not going to activate the devotion point yet. That is as great of a UI change as it is to have the game just take from your shared stash when you need to put something in a shrine or need a quest item. As great as that is, if you're doing an SSF run, you can make a mistake and accidentally give yourself something you shouldn't. So, because we might have done that, we're going to wait to get a Seal of Binding and just throw it back on the ground before we activate Rumor. A low level Void Touch of the Abyss is kind of nice. Alright, so we've rescued the prisoners. Let's head north to Darkfell Gate. We'll probably, once we get that Rift Gate, we'll just leave off there. If we get a Seal of Binding, we'll be able to activate our devotion point, though. Okay, Seal of Bindings on the floor. We can now feel legitimate about activating our devotion. Oh. Let's not die. Now we activate Blade Spirits because we have something to put on them. Alright, get the heck away from the death crystals with our Chaos Res. Alright, we'll get this Rift Gate. We'll get our next devotion point assigned. And then we will head out. Take the Vit Res first, actually. Alright, there's the level 30 Grim Tools. We'll pick up this character on Saturday morning, and obviously continue Sunday morning. Tomorrow I think we'll do some more Dishonored, and probably do some more Dishonored on Thursday. If we finish before then, we'll either start a new playthrough or think about another game to play. I'm going to send you guys over to Warborn. We might be raiding into a BRB screen, but such is life. Appreciate everyone being here. Thanks again, Farnsworth, for he went to sleep, but thanks Farnsworth for the resub, and I'll see you guys next time.